Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a moment to appreciate a unique and often misunderstood group of people, those older individuals who enjoy their own company. In a world that constantly equates happiness with social engagement, these individuals have carved out a life of solitude that is rich, fulfilling, and profoundly inspiring. This isn't about loneliness. It's about self-mastery, peace, and the quiet strength that comes from understanding one's own heart. Today we're going to explore 9 amazing qualities of these remarkable people, qualities that remind us there's so much power in being alone. Older people who enjoy solitude often possess an extraordinary level of self-awareness. This quality is not something that develops overnight, but is cultivated over decades of introspection and life experience. They have spent countless hours reflecting on their choices, their values, and the patterns in their lives, allowing them to gain a deep understanding of who they truly are. They are not swayed by fleeting trends or external opinions because they are firmly grounded in their own identity. This self-awareness enables them to identify their strengths and weaknesses with clarity, accepting both with grace and without judgment. They have learned to listen to their inner voice, a skill many struggle to master. Whether it's through journaling, meditating, or simply sitting in quiet contemplation, they have developed the ability to recognize their emotions, motives, and behaviors. They understand why they react a certain way, what triggers their joy or sorrow, and how their past has shaped their present. This understanding gives them a unique edge. They are not easily fooled by others or misled by circumstances because they know themselves too well to be deceived. Self-awareness also allows them to align their actions with their values, creating a life that feels authentic and intentional. They know what truly matters to them, and they prioritize their time and energy accordingly. This profound understanding creates a sense of harmony in their lives that radiates outward. When faced with decisions, they approach them with a calm, measured clarity that only comes from knowing themselves deeply. They don't second-guess or overanalyze every choice, as they trust their instincts and the wisdom they've gathered over the years. This heightened self-awareness also extends to how they interact with others. They are deeply attuned to their own needs and boundaries, which helps them communicate clearly and maintain healthy relationships. They know when to step back, when to speak up, and when to simply let go. This insight into themselves also allows them to be more empathetic toward others, as they understand that everyone is on their own journey of self-discovery. They've navigated the complexities of their own inner world, and this makes them more patient and accepting of others' struggles. In their solitude, they find opportunities for growth and evolution, constantly refining their understanding of themselves as they move through different stages of life. They have a sense of purpose that comes from within, not from external validation, and this makes them resilient in the face of challenges. Profound self-awareness gives them the ability to stand tall, unshaken by the chaos around them, because they carry an unwavering certainty of who they are and what they stand for. Older people who enjoy solitude often embody an exceptional level of emotional independence. This quality is a testament to their life experiences, their triumphs, and even their trials. It is the ability to find stability and fulfillment within themselves rather than seeking it from external sources. Emotional independence means they do not rely on others to define their worth, validate their feelings, or dictate their happiness. They have developed a resilient inner foundation that allows them to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence. Over time, they've learned to process their emotions in healthy ways. They don't suppress their feelings, nor do they let them spiral out of control. Instead, they have cultivated a balanced relationship with their emotional landscape, understanding that feelings are temporary visitors, not permanent residents. This emotional maturity empowers them to respond to challenges and setbacks thoughtfully, rather than reacting impulsively. They approach difficulties with a calm and measured mindset, knowing that no storm lasts forever and that they have the inner resources to endure. Their emotional independence is also evident in their relationships. They don't cling to others out of fear of being alone, nor do they seek to control or be controlled. They value connection, but they don't let their self-worth hinge on someone else's approval or presence. This creates healthier, more authentic bonds because they interact with others from a place of strength rather than neediness. They are not afraid to walk away from relationships that are toxic or unbalanced because they understand that their peace of mind is more valuable than staying in situations that drain them. Spending time alone has further refined their emotional resilience. In solitude, they've learned to confront their fears, insecurities, and doubts head on. This process of self-reflection has helped them develop an unshakable inner peace that isn't easily disturbed by external circumstances. They have discovered that they are their own best companion, capable of providing themselves with the love, understanding, and encouragement they need. This doesn't mean they don't appreciate the company of others, but they don't depend on it for their sense of well-being. Emotional independence also gives them the freedom to pursue their passions and interests without worrying about judgment or criticism. They are unapologetically themselves, unburdened by societal expectations or the pressure to conform. They have a quiet confidence that allows them to take risks, embrace change, and forge their own path. This self-assurance inspires those around them, showing that true strength comes from within. What's truly remarkable is their ability to face life's uncertainties with optimism and courage. They understand that challenges are a natural part of the human experience and that they have the power to overcome them. Their emotional independence acts as a stabilizing force, enabling them to maintain perspective even during difficult times. They've learned that happiness is not something to be chased, but something to be cultivated from within. And this realization gives them a profound sense of freedom and contentment. Resilience is not just the ability to bounce back from life's hardships, it is the strength to adapt, endure, and grow stronger through them. Older individuals who prefer solitude often embody a remarkable form of resilience that sets them apart. Their lives have been a mosaic of experiences, both joyous and painful, and through it all they have developed an unwavering ability to face adversity with grace. This resilience is not accidental, it is earned, shaped by years of navigating challenges, making sacrifices, and learning from setbacks. Their resilience begins with their mindset. They have learned that struggles are not obstacles meant to break them, but opportunities to build character and deepen understanding. They no longer view life's difficulties as unfair burdens, but as natural and necessary parts of the human journey. This perspective allows them to approach challenges with a level-headed determination, knowing that no matter how heavy the storm, there is always a way forward. Their experiences have taught them patience. They understand that solutions don't always come quickly and that healing is not an overnight process. Whether it's recovering from loss, rebuilding after failure, or adapting to change, they approach each situation with steady resolve. They've grown accustomed to the ebb and flow of life and have mastered the art of persistence, knowing that strength often lies in the ability to keep moving forward, one small step at a time. Another layer of their resilience is emotional stability. While life trials may shake them, they rarely break. They develop the ability to regulate their emotions, ensuring that anger, frustration, or despair don't overwhelm them. Instead of being reactive, they've cultivated a reflective nature which allows them to process their emotions constructively. They know when to lean into their feelings to understand them and when to let go to avoid being consumed. Older individuals with remarkable resilience have also learned the value of self-reliance. They don't wait for someone else to solve their problems or rescue them from hardship. Instead, they take ownership of their circumstances and make proactive choices to improve their situation. This self-reliance does not mean they are unwilling to accept help, but it ensures that they are not dependent on it. They've built an inner strength that allows them to stand firm, even when external support is scarce. This resilience also shines in their ability to adapt. Life often takes unexpected turns, and those who value solitude have become skilled at adjusting their sails to match the winds of change. They understand that clinging to the past or resisting change only prolongs suffering. Instead, they embrace new realities, finding ways to make the best of them. Whether it's learning new skills, shifting their goals, or finding joy in small everyday moments, their adaptability is a testament to their inner strength. Moreover, their resilience is rooted in a profound sense of self-belief. They have faced moments when the odds were stacked against them, yet they persisted. These experiences have solidified their confidence in their ability to overcome whatever life throws their way. They don't rely on external validation to affirm their worth. Instead, they draw strength from their inner resolve. Their self-belief becomes a guiding force, helping them navigate even the darkest of time. Resilience doesn't mean they don't feel pain or struggle. It means they've learned to carry those burdens without letting them define them. They've experienced heartbreak, disappointment, and loss. But instead of being consumed by these experiences, they've allowed them to shape a deeper, more compassionate perspective. They use their resilience not only for their own survival, but also as a source of inspiration and encouragement to others who may be walking through similar struggles. Their remarkable resilience is evident in the way they continue to live with hope and purpose. Despite the challenges they face, they maintain a forward-looking attitude, always seeking ways to grow, improve, and contribute. They embody the belief that life's difficulties are not the end of the story, but simply chapters in a much larger narrative. Wisdom isn't merely a byproduct of age. It is the result of deliberate contemplation, learning from life's experiences, and taking the time to reflect on one's journey. For older individuals who prefer solitude, this quality is often deeply ingrained. Their ability to extract profound insights from their personal history is a testament to the transformative power of reflection. Now, let me say again, this wisdom becomes a beacon, guiding their decisions, enriching their relationships, and shaping their understanding of the world. Reflection is a skill that they have cultivated over the years, honed through quiet moments of introspection. In solitude, they find the space to revisit past choices, analyze their successes and failures, and seek the lessons embedded within each experience. Unlike those who rush through life without pause, they make it a priority to consider how their actions have shaped their outcomes. Through this process, they develop clarity and a deeper understanding of themselves and their purpose. Their wisdom through reflection is also characterized by a keen sense of perspective. They have learned to view challenges and hardships not as defining moments of despair, but as stepping stones for growth. By reflecting on these moments, they uncover hidden blessings, recognize their own resilience, and come to understand that life's trials are often necessary for personal transformation. This perspective allows them to approach new challenges with courage and calm, knowing that even difficulties carry the potential for growth. Older individuals with this reflective wisdom often possess a remarkable ability to recognize patterns, both in their own behavior and in the world around them. By examining their past choices, they identify what has worked and what hasn't, allowing them to make more informed decisions in the present. They notice the cyclical nature of life's events and develop an intuitive sense of how to navigate its complexity. This foresight isn't based on guesswork. It's rooted in a lifetime of reflection and a willingness to learn from the past. This wisdom also fosters a profound sense of empathy. Through reflection, they recall times when they have struggled, been misunderstood, or felt alone. These memories create a bridge of understanding, enabling them to connect with others on a deeper level. They don't judge hastily or react impulsively because they know that every person is carrying unseen burdens. Their reflective nature allows them to approach others with kindness, patience, and a genuine desire to uplift rather than criticize. In solitude, they also reflect on their values and priorities, ensuring that their lives align with what truly matters to them. They are not easily swayed by fleeting trends or external pressures because they have taken the time to understand their own hearts. This alignment between their values and actions creates a sense of inner peace that is both rare and admirable. It's not that their lives are free from conflict, but their clarity about what they stand for gives them the strength to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence. Their reflective wisdom extends to an understanding of time itself. They have lived long enough to appreciate the fleeting nature of moments and the importance of cherishing the present. This awareness drives them to focus on what is meaningful rather than wasting energy on trivial concerns. They have come to see time as a precious gift, one that should be spent on activities and relationships that bring joy, purpose, and fulfillment. And today I'm on a walk with my wife and all my joy. One of the things we love is time. Furthermore, this wisdom manifests as a balanced perspective on the dualities of life. They understand that joy and sorrow, success and failure, love and loss are all intertwined. Rather than resisting this reality, they embrace it, finding beauty in the contrast. Their reflections teach them that the presence of one doesn't negate the value of the other. Instead, it enhances the richness of the human experience. The solitude they cherish becomes a fertile ground for this reflective process. It is in the quiet moments, free from distractions, that they are able to delve into their thoughts and uncover truths that might otherwise go unnoticed. They approach reflection not as an occasional activity, but as an integral part of their lives. A strong sense of boundaries is one of the most defining traits of individuals who value their solitude and independence. This quality is not developed overnight, but is the result of a lifetime of experiences, lessons learned, and a deep understanding of self-worth. For those who prefer to spend time alone, boundaries are not about shutting people out, but about creating a safe space where they can thrive, recharge, and focus on what truly matters to them. These individuals have mastered the art of saying no without guilt or hesitation. They recognize that their time and energy are finite resources, and they refuse to squander them on activities or relationships that don't align with their values or bring them genuine fulfillment. Their boundaries are not walls designed to isolate, but filters that allow only what is meaningful and uplifting to enter their lives. This discernment comes from years of observing how unguarded boundaries can lead to exhaustion, resentment, and a loss of self-identity. Boundaries for these individuals extend beyond physical space. They include emotional, mental, and even spiritual dimensions. They are acutely aware of their emotional capacity and are careful about how much of it they share or invest in others. They understand the importance of protecting their peace, and they are unafraid to distance themselves from negativity, drama, or relationships that feel one-sided. This emotional vigilance ensures that they are not drained by the expectations or demands of others. Mentally, they create clear lines between their thoughts and the influence of others. They are not easily swayed by external opinions or societal pressures because they have a solid foundation of self-awareness. This mental clarity allows them to make decisions based on their own judgment rather than succumbing to the noise of the world around them. They know when to engage and when to withdraw, and they are comfortable prioritizing their well-being over the need to conform. Their spiritual boundaries are equally strong. They protect their inner world, their beliefs, values, and sense of purpose from external interference. They are selective about what they consume, whether it's the company they keep, the media they engage with, or the conversations they participate in. By maintaining these boundaries, they ensure that their inner life remains a source of strength and inspiration rather than a battleground of conflicting influences. A strong sense of boundaries also allows these individuals to cultivate deeper and more meaningful relationships. By setting clear expectations, they create an environment of mutual respect and understanding. People in their lives know where they stand and are less likely to overstep or take them for granted. These boundaries foster trust and authenticity as they encourage open communication and a balanced exchange of energy. The ability to enforce boundaries comes from a place of self-respect. These individuals have a clear sense of their worth and are unwilling to compromise it for the sake of pleasing others. They are not afraid of being misunderstood or judged because they prioritize their inner peace over external validation. This unwavering commitment to themselves empowers them to stand firm in their decisions, even when faced with pushback or criticism. Their boundaries also reflect their deep appreciation for solitude and the benefits it brings. They know that time alone is essential for self-reflection, growth, and creativity. By protecting this time, they ensure that they remain centered and aligned with their true selves. They do not feel the need to apologize for wanting space or time to themselves because they understand that it is a fundamental part of their well-being. This strong sense of boundaries often inspires admiration and respect from others. People recognize the confidence and self-assuredness that come from being clear about one's limits and priorities. It serves as a reminder that boundaries are not a sign of weakness or selfishness, but of strength and self-care. By modeling this behavior, they encourage others to examine their own boundaries and make adjustments where needed. Ultimately, their boundaries create a life of balance and intentionality. They allow these individuals to focus on what truly matters without being derailed by distractions or obligations that do not serve them. Their boundaries are a testament to their understanding that protecting their energy and well-being is not only necessary but essential for living a fulfilling and authentic life. Contentment and simplicity is a profound quality that emerges when life is distilled to its essence, free from the clutter of unnecessary complications. For those who embrace solitude, this quality becomes a cornerstone of their inner peace. It's not about depriving oneself of life's luxuries, but about finding joy in the unadorned, the authentic, and the truly meaningful. Simplicity, in its purest form, allows space for clarity, purpose, and genuine connection with oneself and the world. Living with contentment and simplicity means appreciating the small, everyday moments that are often overlooked. It's in the quiet mornings with a cup of tea, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, or the warmth of sunlight streaming through a window. These moments hold a beauty that cannot be bought or manufactured. They are gifts of the present, fully available to those who are attuned to them. People who thrive in solitude understand this, and they actively seek out and cherish these experiences. Simplicity also reflects a lifestyle of intentional choices. These individuals are selective about what they bring into their lives, whether it's material possessions, relationships, or commitments. They recognize that excess often leads to distraction, stress, and dissatisfaction. By prioritizing quality over quantity, they create an environment that nurtures their well-being and allows them to focus on what truly matters. Freedom is essential if you want to maintain your joy and establish a way of focus on what truly matters. Their homes, schedules, and even their minds are uncluttered, leaving room for peace and clarity in their relationships. Simplicity translates to authenticity. They do not feel the need to engage in superficial connections or social performances. Instead, they value deep, meaningful interactions that foster mutual respect and understanding. Their relationships are not about impressing others or fulfilling societal expectations, but about genuine companionship and support. Financially, contentment in simplicity manifests as a rejection of consumerism and the relentless pursuit of material wealth. These individuals understand that happiness cannot be purchased and that true abundance lies in having enough to meet their needs and enjoy life's experiences. They are not driven by comparisons or the desire to keep up with others. Instead, they focus on building a life that aligns with their values and brings them fulfillment. This financial simplicity often leads to greater freedom as they avoid the burdens of debt and the stress of living beyond their means. Emotionally, simplicity provides a foundation for resilience and stability. By eliminating unnecessary drama and complications, they can focus on nurturing their inner peace. They are not easily swayed by external pressures or the chaos of the world because their sense of self is grounded in simplicity and authenticity. This emotional strength allows them to navigate life's challenges with grace and composure. Contentment and simplicity also fosters creativity and personal growth. When life is free from distractions, the mind has the space to wander, imagine, and innovate. These individuals often find inspiration in the stillness and quiet of their surroundings, allowing them to explore their passions and develop new skills. Simplicity becomes a canvas for their creativity, offering endless possibilities for self-expression and discovery. Spiritually, simplicity is a pathway to deeper connection and understanding. By stripping away the noise and clutter of modern life, they can focus on their inner journey and their relationship with the divine. This spiritual simplicity is not about adhering to rigid doctrines or practices, but about seeking truth and meaning in its purest form. It allows them to experience a profound sense of purpose and belonging, grounded in their faith and their connection to the greater whole. Simplicity for them is not a sacrifice, but a liberation. It frees them from the endless cycle of wanting and striving, allowing them to fully embrace the present moment. It teaches them to find joy in what they have rather than constantly seeking more. This contentment creates a life of balance and harmony, where they can thrive without feeling overwhelmed or unfulfilled. Through their contentment and simplicity, they become an example of what it means to live with intention and purpose. They show that a life of meaning does not require excess or complexity, but can be found in the quiet beauty of the simple and the true. This way of living, rooted in gratitude and mindfulness, offers a profound sense of satisfaction that cannot be replicated by the superficial pursuits of modern society. Unshakable calmness is a hallmark of those who have weathered life's storms and emerged with a profound understanding of their inner strength. It is not a quality that comes easily or without struggle, but one that is cultivated through years of navigating challenges, facing uncertainties, and learning to trust in one's ability to endure. This calmness is not merely the absence of chaos, but a deliberate choice to remain composed even when the world around them is in turmoil. For those who possess this quality, calmness is rooted in a deep sense of self-awareness. They have taken the time to understand their triggers, fears, and anxieties, and they have developed strategies to manage them effectively. This self-awareness allows them to respond rather than react, to pause and reflect instead of being swept away by emotion. Their calmness is a shield protecting them from the pressures and noise of the external world, enabling them to maintain their focus and clarity in any situation. This unshakable calmness often stems from a perspective that sees challenges as temporary and surmountable. They have encountered enough hardships to recognize that even the most daunting problems eventually pass. This perspective gives them the ability to remain steady in the face of adversity, to approach difficulties with a problem-solving mindset rather than succumbing to panic or despair. They understand that worry and fear only cloud judgment, and they choose instead to act with deliberation and purpose. Their calmness is also a reflection of emotional maturity. They have learned to separate their emotions from their actions, to acknowledge their feelings without allowing them to dictate their behavior. This does not mean they suppress or ignore their emotions. Rather, they process them in a healthy and constructive manner. They recognize the power of calmness, not only in maintaining their own peace, but also in diffusing tension and fostering positive interactions with others. In relationships, this calmness becomes a stabilizing force. They do not escalate conflicts or engage in unnecessary drama, but instead approach disagreements with patience and understanding. Their calm demeanor helps to create an environment where open communication and mutual respect can thrive. They are the ones others turn to for advice, support, or simply a reassuring presence, knowing that their calmness has the power to soothe and inspire confidence. Unshakable calmness is also deeply tied to their ability to live in the present moment. They are not consumed by regrets about the past or fears about the future. Instead, they focus on what they can control in the here and now. This mindfulness allows them to experience life more fully and to appreciate the beauty and opportunities in each moment. It also helps them to avoid becoming overwhelmed by the complexities of life as they break challenges into manageable steps and tackle them one at a time. Their calmness is not an indication of a life without struggles, but a testament to their ability to navigate them with grace. It is a skill honed through self-discipline, reflection, and a commitment to personal growth. They have learned to prioritize their mental and emotional well-being, understanding that calmness is both a choice and a practice. This commitment often includes habits such as meditation, journaling, or spending time in nature, all of which help to nurture their inner peace. Unshakable calmness also reflects a strong sense of purpose and direction. They are not easily swayed by distractions or the opinions of others because they are clear about their values and goals. This clarity allows them to remain focused and composed, even when faced with criticism or setbacks. They trust in their path and are not deterred by temporary obstacles, knowing that their calm and steady approach will lead them to success. In times of crisis, their calmness becomes their greatest asset. It enables them to think clearly, make rational decisions, and act with confidence. They do not allow fear or uncertainty to paralyze them. Instead, they draw upon their inner strength to lead themselves and others through difficult situations. Their calmness inspires trust and admiration, as it demonstrates a level of resilience and poise that few can match. Ultimately, unshakable calmness is a reflection of their deep inner strength and unwavering self-belief. It is a quality that sets them apart, enabling them to navigate life's complexities with grace and determination. Their calmness is not just a personal attribute, but a gift they share with the world, creating a sense of stability and reassurance in an often chaotic and unpredictable world. Creative depth is a quality that radiates from those who dare to explore the uncharted corners of their imagination and intellect. It is not just about having ideas, it is about the richness and substance behind those ideas. People with creative depth possess an innate ability to think beyond the surface, to connect the dots in ways others might overlook, and to bring forth solutions, perspectives, or expressions that are as profound as they are original. Their creativity is not confined to artistic endeavors, but extends to every facet of life: problem solving, relationships, personal growth, and even how they view the world. This depth is often rooted in their willingness to embrace solitude, as moments of quiet reflection provide the perfect backdrop for creativity to thrive. They see solitude not as loneliness, but as a sanctuary where thoughts can flow freely without distraction. In these moments, they engage deeply with their own minds, allowing them to ponder, question, and explore ideas with a sense of curiosity and wonder. Their creative process is less about rushing toward an outcome and more about savoring the journey of discovery. The richness of their creativity often stems from their diverse life experiences and an openness to learning. They are perpetual students of life, eager to draw inspiration from everything around them: nature, art, literature, music, conversations, and even the mundane details of daily living. This broad exposure enriches their imagination, enabling them to draw from a well of knowledge and experiences that adds layers of meaning to their work or ideas. Their ability to synthesize this wealth of information into something new and impactful is a testament to their creative depths. At the heart of their creativity lies an emotional connection. They approach their ideas with a sense of passion and authenticity that resonates deeply with others. Their creations are not merely functional or beautiful, they carry a sense of purpose and soul. Whether it's a piece of art, a solution to a problem, or a heartfelt gesture, their work reflects their inner world and has the power to inspire, comfort, or provoke thought in those who encounter it. Their creative depth is also characterized by resilience and a fearless attitude toward failure. They understand that creativity requires risk and that not every idea will succeed. Yet, instead of being deterred by setbacks, they see them as opportunities to refine their vision and grow. They are unafraid to experiment, to challenge norms, and to push boundaries, knowing that true innovation lies just beyond the limits of conventional thinking. These individuals are also masters of perspective. They have a unique ability to see things from multiple angles, to find beauty in imperfection, and to uncover opportunities and challenges. This perspective enables them to approach problems with ingenuity, finding solutions that are both practical and imaginative. They thrive in complexity, relishing the chance to unravel difficult questions and transform them into meaningful outcomes. Creative depth is not merely about originality, it's about intention and impact. Every idea or creation they pursue is infused with thoughtfulness and care. They seek not just to impress, but to connect, to inspire others to see the world in new ways or to feel emotions they might have suppressed. Their work often carries a sense of timelessness, as it reflects universal truths or values that transcend trends and fleeting interests. Their creative process is also deeply introspective. They spend time understanding their own emotions, thoughts, and motivations, which allows them to create with clarity and authenticity. This self-awareness enriches their work as it becomes a mirror of their inner world, offering others a glimpse into their unique perspective. Their creations are not just products of their minds, but reflections of their souls, making them all the more impactful and meaningful. People with creative depth are also highly adaptive. They have a knack for navigating uncertainty and finding inspiration in the unexpected. This adaptability allows them to remain innovative, even in challenging circumstances, as they draw upon their resourcefulness and imagination to overcome obstacles. They are not confined by limitations. Instead, they use them as a springboard for creativity, proving that constraints can often lead to the most ingenious ideas. Ultimately, creative depth is a blend of curiosity, courage, emotional intelligence, and a profound connection to the world around them. It is a quality that transforms ordinary moments into extraordinary opportunities and mundane ideas into masterpieces. Those who possess it are not just creators, but visionaries, capable of leaving an indelible mark on the hearts and minds of those who encounter their work. Authentic relationships are the foundation upon which trust, understanding, and true connection are built. They go beyond surface-level interactions, diving into the depths of shared experiences, vulnerabilities, and mutual respect. These relationships are not bound by pretense or driven by ulterior motives, but are instead grounded in honesty and a genuine desire to connect with another person for who they truly are. People who value authenticity in their relationships understand that it begins with being true to themselves. They approach connections with a clear sense of their own values, needs, and boundaries, allowing them to engage with others without fear of judgment or the need to conform. Their self-awareness fosters a sense of openness and honesty that encourages others to let their guards down as well, creating an environment where real conversations and meaningful exchanges can thrive. In authentic relationships, there is no room for manipulation or deceit. Instead, there is a shared commitment to honesty, even when the truth is uncomfortable. This honesty builds a foundation of trust that strengthens the bond between individuals. It ensures that both parties feel safe to express their thoughts, emotions, and concerns without fear of being dismissed or misunderstood. Such trust is not built overnight, but is nurtured over time through consistent actions and mutual respect. A hallmark of authentic relationships is the ability to embrace each other's imperfections. People in these relationships do not seek to mold or change one another to fit unrealistic ideals. Instead, they celebrate the uniqueness of the other person, recognizing that flaws and vulnerabilities are a natural part of being human. This acceptance fosters a sense of belonging, where both individuals feel valued for who they truly are rather than who they think they need to be. Authentic relationships also thrive on mutual respect. There is an unspoken understanding that both parties are equals, regardless of their differences. They listen to each other with empathy and strive to understand perspectives that may differ from their own. This respect extends to honoring each other's boundaries, recognizing that a healthy connection requires space for individuality and personal growth. Another defining feature of authentic relationships is the depth of emotional support they provide. In these connections, people are not afraid to show up for each other in times of need. Whether it's celebrating successes, offering a shoulder to lean on during difficult times, or simply being present, the support is heartfelt and unwavering. This emotional availability fosters a sense of security and reassurance that strengthens the bond. Communication plays a pivotal role in maintaining authenticity in relationships. Those who value authenticity prioritize open and honest dialogue, even when it involves addressing difficult topics. They are willing to have uncomfortable conversations because they understand that true connection requires transparency. They approach these discussions with kindness and a willingness to listen, creating a space where both parties feel heard and understood. Authentic relationships are also marked by a sense of reciprocity. Both individuals invest in the connection, offering time, energy, and effort to nurture and sustain it. There is no sense of imbalance or one-sidedness. Instead, both parties recognize the importance of contributing equally to the relationship. This reciprocity reinforces the sense of partnership and shared responsibility, making the bond stronger, more resilient. These relationships are characterized by a sense of freedom and ease. There is no need to put up a facade or pretend to be someone you're not. Authenticity allows individuals to let go of societal expectations or pressures and simply be themselves. This freedom creates a connection that feels natural and unforced, where laughter, silence, and everything in between is equally comfortable and cherished. In authentic relationships, growth is a shared journey. Both individuals inspire and challenge each other to be their best selves, offering encouragement and constructive feedback when needed. They are not afraid to call each other out when necessary, but they do so with love and the intention to help the other person grow. This mutual commitment to personal and collective growth makes a relationship dynamic and ever evolving. Authentic relationships are a source of immense joy and fulfillment. They remind us of the power of human connection and the beauty of being truly seen and understood. They are a safe haven in a world that often prioritizes appearances over substance, offering a space where we can let our guards down and experience the profound joy of being loved and valued for who we truly are. In conclusion, the qualities of older people who enjoy solitude are not just about withdrawal from the world, but are rooted in strength, wisdom, and a deep understanding of themselves and the world around them. These individuals exhibit profound self-awareness, emotional independence, resilience, and wisdom that comes from. They have mastered the art of creating healthy boundaries, find contentment in simplicity, and possess a calmness that is unshakable. Their creativity is limitless, and they foster authentic relationships that are grounded in trust and respect. Their journey is not one of isolation for the sake of loneliness, but rather a purposeful embrace of solitude that allows them to connect more deeply with themselves and their surroundings. Their lives are rich with meaning, and their experiences are full of valuable lessons that those around them can learn from. As we recognize and appreciate these remarkable qualities, we can better understand the strength that lies in solitude and the power of living authentically. These are not just traits to admire, but qualities that we, too, can strive to cultivate in our own lives. It's a harsh reality that not everyone will love you. In fact, some people will secretly hate you for reasons you don't even understand, but instead of being consumed by it, you have to rise above. It's not about them. It's about how you handle it, how you process it, and how you keep pushing forward despite the negativity. Today, we're going to break down 9 reasons why people secretly hate you and how you can take control of your life, your journey, and your peace of mind. When you start to rise, when you begin to achieve things that others may only dream of, it's only natural for some people to see you as a threat. They see your strength, your confidence, and your ability to hold your ground, and they become uneasy. They don't like it. They feel insecure in the presence of someone who doesn't shrink back, who isn't afraid to stand out, and who doesn't rely on others for validation. It makes them question their own abilities, their own limitations. See, when you're on a path to success, when you refuse to let fear control you, it forces others to confront their own fears. Instead of celebrating your victories, they start to envy them. They want what you have, but they don't want to put in the work. They want to see you fail because your success exposes their own lack of action, their own fears, and their own doubts. Being seen as a threat doesn't always mean someone is plotting against you. It's not always an active attempt to tear you down. Often it's the subtle discomfort of those who feel powerless in the face of your ambition. They might not say it out loud, but inside they feel threatened by your progress. They feel threatened by your refusal to let their negativity get to you. They feel threatened by your unshakable belief in your own worth and your ability to overcome any obstacle in your way. This is why some people start to distance themselves, why they begin to talk behind your back or spread rumors. They want to diminish your shine because deep down they believe that if they can make you small, they can feel bigger. But the truth is, they're only projecting their own fears. When you walk through this world with your head held high, when you move with purpose and stand firm in your principles, you challenge the status quo. You challenge the limitations others have placed on themselves. And in doing so, you make them question their own comfort zones, their own inaction. You make them wonder why they're not going after their own dreams with the same intensity and focus. Your strength is a mirror they don't want to look into because it forces them to see what they are too afraid to acknowledge in themselves. So they resort to subtle, passive-aggressive tactics or avoid you altogether. But none of that should matter to you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep pushing yourself. Because when they see you as a threat, it's simply a sign that you're doing something right. They can only hate what they're too afraid to become. Remember, you can't be everyone's cup of tea. Some people will see you as a threat simply because you're willing to be who you are. You're willing to be unapologetic, to walk in your purpose, and to let the world see you for who you truly are. And that's a power that many people will never understand. But it's also the power that will take you places they could only dream of reaching. Success has a way of shining a light on things that many people would prefer to keep in the shadows, especially their own insecurities. When you achieve something that others haven't, When you push through challenges and reach goals that seem impossible to most, it's natural for those around you to react in different ways. But often, the reaction you'll get from people who secretly hate you isn't admiration, it's discomfort. They're uncomfortable because your success makes them look inward at their own perceived failures and limitations. People often judge themselves based on the progress and accomplishments of others. When someone reaches a level of success that they haven't been able to attain, it creates a gap, a distance between where they are and where you are. And that gap, it highlights their insecurities. They can no longer ignore the fact that they haven't taken the steps, put in the work, or made the sacrifices necessary to achieve the same thing. They start questioning their own choices, their own actions, and the trajectory of their life. It's not that they necessarily wish bad on you, but they feel threatened because your success forces them to face their own lack of action. When you succeed, you unintentionally point out their own complacency, their hesitation, and their fear of taking risks. They see you out there winning, and it reminds them of all the times they didn't take the leap. It reminds them of the opportunities they've let slip by. It's easy to hide behind excuses when you're surrounded by people who are also stagnant. But when you start moving, when you start achieving, it pulls the curtain back on the fact that they've been standing still for far too long. They begin to look at you with resentment, not because you did something wrong, but because you have what they desire: confidence, action, progress, and they're struggling to muster those same qualities within themselves. They envy your ability to rise above adversity, to push past fear, and to embrace the challenges that come with success. And rather than facing their own fears, they project their frustrations onto you. Instead of applauding your achievements, they begin to criticize, diminish, or even ignore your success because it exposes their own shortcomings. The truth is, it's not about you at all. It's not about the work you put in or the dedication you've shown. It's about the mirror you hold up to them. Every time you take a step forward, you show them what they could have, what they might have if only they had the courage, the drive, and the commitment to chase their own dreams. Your success reminds them that they're not where they want to be, and that is something they cannot escape. It's easier to be angry at you, to resent your achievements, than to face the uncomfortable reality of their own unfulfilled potential. But here's the thing, this is their battle, not yours. You did the work. You put in the hours. You made the sacrifices. Your success is yours to claim, and no one can take that from you. Don't let their insecurities define how you feel about your accomplishments. Keep moving forward. Keep pushing yourself to greater heights. Their insecurities are their issue, not yours. Let them use your success as the fuel they need to ignite their own journey, or let them fade into the background. Either way, your progress is a testament to the hard work and discipline you've shown, and that's something no one can take away from you. There's something about strength that can be intimidating. When you show up in the world fully capable, unapologetically powerful, it shakes people. It forces them to confront a reality they may not be ready for. Strength isn't just about physical power or being the loudest in the room. It's the inner strength, the resilience that keeps you moving forward when others would have given up. It's your mental fortitude, your ability to withstand pressure, and your unshakable belief in yourself that really gets under their skin. Most people live their lives bound by fear, insecurity, and uncertainty. They try to navigate the world making decisions based on what others think, shrinking back when faced with adversity, and always second-guessing their worth. But you move differently. When life throws challenges at you, you don't crumble, you rise. When people doubt you, you don't shrink back, you step forward. Your strength is a reminder of what they could be, and that's not something everyone can handle. The truth is, your strength forces them to look at their own weaknesses, and that's not a comfortable thing to do. You make them feel small, even though that's not your intention. They can't help but compare themselves to you, and when they do, they feel inadequate. Your resilience shows them what they're not doing, what they're not willing to face. The strength you display is a reflection of their inability to do the same. And for some people, that's a hard pill to swallow. They can't handle the fact that you keep going when everything around you is falling apart. They can't understand how you keep your head high, how you maintain your focus, how you keep pushing forward while they struggle to get through their own day. Your strength doesn't give them the space to make excuses for their own failures. When you rise above the chaos, it forces them to reckon with their own inability to rise above their struggles, and that's not easy to do. So instead of applauding your strength, they try to undermine it. They see it as a challenge, something that highlights their lack, their fear, and their hesitation. Your strength also makes them question their own capacity. They wonder, how does this person do it? How are they so strong? How do they keep going while I can barely manage to get through my own struggles? And rather than embracing the challenge of finding their own strength, some choose to react with jealousy, bitterness, and sometimes even hostility. They can't handle it because it exposes the weakness they don't want to confront. But here's the thing, your strength isn't just about you. It's a reminder that people are capable of far more than they give themselves credit for. Your strength serves as an example of what's possible when you refuse to settle for less than you deserve, when you rise above adversity, and when you believe in your own power. It shows others that they too can overcome the odds, they too can find their strength, but they have to be willing to confront their own fears and limitations first. However, not everyone will appreciate your strength. Some people will see it as a threat. They will feel exposed by it and try to diminish it. But the only person you need to answer to is yourself. Keep being strong, keep standing tall, and keep pushing forward. Let your strength be a testament to your inner power, and let those who can't handle it find their own way. Your strength will continue to shine, and that's something no one can take away from you. Independence is a powerful thing, and for some it's a reminder of everything they wish they could be but aren't. When you stand on your own, not needing anyone's approval, validation, or help to achieve what you want, it creates a level of unease in people who rely on others to get by. Your ability to function without leaning on anyone or anything is a direct contrast to their insecurity and dependence on external sources for strength. People who are threatened by your independence see it as a challenge to their own lack of autonomy. It highlights their inability to make decisions without the influence of others, their hesitation to act without seeking validation. They may be used to having someone else step in to help them, carry them, or even make decisions for them. But you have the courage to walk your own path, make your own mistakes, and figure things out for yourself. That's something they don't know how to handle because it forces them to confront the uncomfortable truth that they can't stand on their own. Your independence brings up questions for them that they don't want to answer. How does this person do it? How do they make it on their own while I struggle to keep everything together? It makes them examine their own reliance on others, and often it forces them to realize that they depend on people, relationships, or circumstances more than they care to admit. The freedom you embody, the self-sufficiency that radiates from you, shines a light on their own fears and limitations. And rather than embracing that discomfort and striving to improve, some people will feel threatened by it. They may try to belittle your accomplishments or downplay your ability to stand alone because it forces them to see their own weaknesses. When you don't need anyone's help to succeed, you become a mirror to their own lack of self-reliance. Your strength exposes their fragility, and instead of being inspired by your independence, they may feel envy, resentment, or anger. It's easier to criticize someone who's walking confidently on their own than to look in the mirror and address the reasons why they're still seeking the support of others. It also threatens their idea of control. Some people can't comprehend the idea of someone being truly self-sufficient because they've built their lives on relying on others for emotional support, financial aid, or guidance. The idea that you can navigate the world without relying on others' opinions or actions challenges their worldview. It forces them to confront the fact that they too could choose a different path, a path where they are the master of their own destiny. But the idea of walking that path requires them to step into uncertainty, to trust themselves in ways they may not be ready for. It's far easier for them to stay in their comfort zone, relying on the familiar. When people are threatened by your independence, they may also feel a loss of power. If you can stand on your own and make it on your own, it means they no longer hold influence over you. They can no longer control your decisions, shape your life, or steer you in directions that suit them. Your independence is a silent act of defiance against those who seek to control or manipulate others. They can no longer play the role of the guiding hand, the one that offers unsolicited advice or direction. They're forced to step back and realize that you're fully capable of running your own life. But here's the truth: your independence doesn't diminish anyone else. It's not a threat to others' worth or value. It's a reflection of your own strength. When you choose to stand alone, to build your life on your own terms, it's a sign of self-respect, not arrogance. You're not asking for permission to live your life, you're taking responsibility for it. Your independence serves as a reminder that we all have the capacity to break free from reliance on others and live lives that are true to ourselves. In the end, being independent doesn't mean you don't value relationships or need the support of others at times. It simply means that you're not bound by the expectations, opinions, or control of others. You stand firm in your own decisions, and you're strong enough to face life's challenges head on without waiting for anyone else's permission. It's this strength, this ability to remain unapologetically yourself, that will continue to make you a source of both admiration and, unfortunately, resentment for those who can't handle your independence. But remember, their discomfort with your freedom is theirs to deal with, not yours. Keep standing tall, keep being true to yourself, and keep embracing your independence as the powerful force it is. When you live authentically, you're standing in your truth, embracing who you truly are without pretending to be someone or something you're not. You don't need to wear a mask to fit in. You don't need to conform to societal expectations, and you certainly don't need to put on a front for anyone's approval. Your authenticity is a force that resonates with confidence, self-acceptance, and integrity. But for many people, this authenticity is a stark contrast to the facade they built to navigate the world. And that's when the discomfort begins. Your ability to be real, to express yourself without fear of judgment, causes others to feel the weight of their own inauthenticity. They've spent years crafting an image trying to fit into a mold that society, family, or friends have shaped for them. They've told themselves stories about who they need to be and have embraced a version of themselves that isn't fully their own. They've hidden behind masks, pretending to be someone they're not in order to gain acceptance or approval. The truth is, they are so disconnected from their true selves that your unfiltered authenticity serves as a painful reminder of everything they've chosen to suppress. Your authenticity highlights their insecurities. While you're standing firm in your values, unapologetically embracing the person you are, they're questioning whether they're being true to themselves or simply playing a role. It exposes the discomfort they feel when they have to put on a show, pretending to be something they're not in order to be liked or accepted. Your refusal to conform serves as a mirror to them, forcing them to confront the fact that they're not living in alignment with their own truth. This reflection can make them feel small because they know deep down that they're not being their authentic selves, and your presence only emphasizes their self-deception. The energy you exude, your ability to speak your truth, follow your passions, and be unapologetically yourself can be a stark contrast to their quiet desperation to fit in. While you're secure in your identity, they are left struggling with the constant need to please others, conform, and maintain an image of perfection. They find themselves locked in a cycle of self-doubt, fearing that if they let their guard down or reveal their true selves, they will be rejected or ridiculed. And because they've spent so much time and energy constructing a false version of themselves, seeing you stand tall in your truth forces them to acknowledge their own disconnection from their authentic self. This discomfort grows when they witness your ability to effortlessly live authentically without fear of rejection. It shines a light on the fact that they're constantly in a battle between who they truly are and the version they've created to please others. The more you express your authenticity, the more it feels like a challenge to the illusion they've built for themselves. The more confident you are in your own skin, the more they begin to feel insecure in theirs. They may start to question whether they'll ever have the courage to take off their mask and whether they'll ever be able to truly live authentically without the fear of judgment. For these people, seeing you stand firm in your authenticity often forces them to face uncomfortable truths about themselves. They realize that they've been living their lives for others, shaping themselves to fit into the expectations and opinions of those around them. They've put up walls to protect their fragile egos, and the idea of letting those walls down terrifies them. Your authenticity makes them feel exposed because it forces them to see how much they've been hiding, how much they've been running from their true selves. It's not that they hate you or feel anger toward you for being authentic. It's more about the frustration they feel toward themselves. They may even admire your ability to live so openly, but it stirs up feelings of jealousy and resentment because they wish they could do the same. They're stuck in a cycle of pretending, not knowing how to break free from the constraints they've built around themselves. And every time they see you live freely, it makes them feel like they're living a lie. The truth is, their feelings of discomfort aren't really about you, they're about them. You're not forcing them to feel fake, they're simply seeing their own inauthenticity reflected in you. Your confidence to be real exposes the gaps in their own self-acceptance. And it's not your job to fix that, it's their journey to step into their own authenticity, and the only thing you can do is keep being true to yourself. Your authenticity isn't meant to make others feel bad, it's meant to inspire them. But it's up to them to decide whether they will confront their own insecurities and embrace the freedom that comes with living in alignment with their true selves. One of the most powerful things you can do in life is to refuse to tolerate toxic behavior. Toxicity can manifest in many forms: manipulation, constant negativity, emotional abuse, or even passive-aggressive behavior. When you set boundaries and refuse to accept this kind of behavior in your life, you're doing more than just protecting yourself, you're also teaching people how to treat you. You're showing them that you value your peace and your emotional well-being more than the toxic patterns they might try to impose on you. And that in itself is a powerful statement. When people are used to getting away with toxic behavior, whether it's subtle or overt, they can become comfortable in it. They might have learned how to manipulate, belittle, or control others without facing any real consequences. But when you step up and refuse to tolerate this, it shakes them to their core. They aren't used to encountering someone who won't bend to their emotional games or manipulative tactics. It challenges the status quo and disrupts the toxic dynamic they've built, and that can make them feel exposed and uncomfortable. Toxic people thrive on control, chaos, and negativity. They feed off drama, whether it's created by them or by others. They have a way of manipulating situations to make you feel guilty, unworthy, or as though you owe them something. When you set boundaries and refuse to participate in their toxic games, you stop feeding the cycle. You take away their power, and in doing so, you make it clear that you will not accept being treated poorly. By drawing that line in the sand, you demonstrate that your peace and self-respect are non-negotiable. This kind of boundary setting doesn't just make a statement to the person who is toxic, it sends a message to everyone around you as well. People take notice when you stand firm in your resolve. They see that you're not willing to tolerate mistreatment, and it forces them to either respect your boundaries or leave. The person who is toxic may not understand this at first. They may feel challenged, confused, or even angry, but the reality is that your refusal to tolerate their behavior forces them to either change or walk away. And often, people who engage in toxic behavior aren't willing to change. They're used to getting their way, and when they realize they can't manipulate or control you anymore, they may try to turn the tables and make you feel guilty for holding them accountable. But you need to remain firm in your stance. What's critical to understand here is that tolerating toxicity does not serve anyone. It only breeds resentment, frustration, and self-doubt. By refusing to accept toxic behavior, you're taking control of your life and your energy. You're telling yourself that you deserve respect, kindness, and honesty, and you're not willing to sacrifice that for anyone. When you stop tolerating toxic behavior, you begin to set a standard for how you expect to be treated, and this opens the door for healthier, more positive relationships to thrive. The impact of not tolerating toxicity extends beyond the individual relationships you're dealing with. It shifts the energy around you. It shows others that they cannot disrespect you without consequences, and this ripple effect can change the dynamics of your friendships, family interactions, and even your workplace environment. People begin to realize that they cannot get away with treating you poorly, and this often encourages them to either elevate their behavior or distance themselves from you. And sometimes that distance is necessary. It clears space for healthier connections and meaningful relationships where respect and care are mutual. But here's the thing, refusing to tolerate toxicity isn't just about confronting others, it's also about confronting yourself. It's about recognizing the areas in your own life where you've tolerated behavior that doesn't align with your values or your self-worth. It's easy to fall into the trap of people pleasing or allowing certain behaviors to slide, especially if you've been conditioned to believe that keeping the peace is more important than standing up for yourself. But when you choose to no longer tolerate toxicity, you also choose to prioritize your own well-being over the comfort of others. You refuse to sacrifice your peace just to avoid conflict. And this is one of the most empowering choices you can make. By no longer tolerating toxic behavior, you demonstrate strength, courage, and resilience. You refuse to let negativity and manipulation control your life. You take your power back and you show others that you are not someone to be taken for granted. You set a new standard not only for how others treat you, but for how you treat yourself. You become a walking example of self-respect. And in turn, you inspire others to raise their own standards and refuse to tolerate toxicity in their lives. You are teaching the world around you that you won't settle for less than what you deserve, and that is the most powerful message you can send. Envy is a powerful, often destructive emotion that can deeply affect relationships, personal dynamics, and even one's sense of self-worth. When people are envious of what you have, they're not just jealous of your possessions or your accomplishments, they're threatened by the very essence of who you are and what you've built for yourself. Envy can stem from a place of deep insecurity where the person feels as though they are not measuring up or they can't fathom how you've achieved your success. This feeling is rooted in comparison, and often when someone looks at what you have and realizes they don't have it themselves, they begin to resent you for it. It's not just about what you have physically or materially. Sometimes people are envious of the qualities and traits that you possess, such as your confidence, your charisma, or the ease with which you navigate life. They look at you and wish they had the same inner strength, the same courage to pursue their goals, or the same sense of peace and happiness. When they observe that your life seems to be on a different level than theirs, rather than feeling motivated or inspired by your example, they can spiral into resentment and bitterness. This is where envy becomes toxic. It begins to eat away at their perception of themselves and ultimately their ability to celebrate anyone else's success. Envy often manifests in subtle ways. It can show up as backhanded compliments, passive-aggressive comments, or a refusal to acknowledge your achievements. When people are envious, they may try to diminish your accomplishments or make you feel guilty for succeeding, as though somehow your success is a reflection of their own failure. They might question the validity of your achievements or downplay your hard work, all because they feel insecure in their own journey. Instead of lifting you up, they seek to bring you down to their level, trying to make you feel that you're no better than they are. This is how envy works, by attempting to create doubt in your mind and erode your confidence. It makes the envious person feel a sense of relief, as though they are not the only one struggling or falling short. The root of envy lies in comparison. People who are envious of you are often too focused on what you have to realize that their own lives are valuable and full of potential. They look at your success or your life choices and think, why not me? Without taking the time to recognize the work, effort, and sacrifices you made to get where you are. They don't see the sleepless nights, the struggles, the setbacks, and the perseverance you show when no one was watching. Instead, they only see the final product, the success, the outward achievements, and the rewards that have come your way. This narrow perspective prevents them from understanding the full picture, and as a result, they can only experience envy rather than admiration. This type of envy also clouds their judgment. Instead of celebrating the success of others, they become consumed by their own lack of fulfillment. The problem with envy is that it keeps people stuck in a cycle of negative thinking, where they believe they are incapable of achieving anything unless they have what you have. It makes them feel small and powerless, and it robs them of the ability to take responsibility for their own life choices. Rather than looking inward and recognizing that their dissatisfaction with their life is a result of their own actions or lack of action, they project that dissatisfaction onto others. They may feel resentful that you have what they believe they deserve, but are unwilling to put in the work to earn it themselves. Sometimes when people are envious, they go to great lengths to undermine your happiness or success. This can manifest in subtle sabotage or even overt attempts to discredit you. They might try to spread rumors or create doubt in others' minds about your achievements or your character. The goal is not necessarily to tear you down directly, but to deflect attention away from you and onto themselves. If they can make you appear less successful or less accomplished, then it validates their own feelings of inadequacy. However, the true harm lies in the fact that this behavior does not only affect the person they target, but also eats away at their own happiness, leaving them feeling more isolated and bitter over time. One of the most damaging aspects of envy is that it keeps people from experiencing joy in their own lives. When they are focused on what you have, they fail to see the abundance and opportunities in their own lives. Envy blinds people to their own potential and to the unique qualities they possess. Instead of appreciating their strengths and working to improve themselves, they waste time and energy wishing they had someone else's life. In the end, this not only hampers their personal growth, but also prevents them from ever reaching the place where they can feel proud of their own accomplishments. When you're envious of someone else's success, you're too busy focusing on their journey to appreciate the path that you have the potential to create for yourself. But here's the truth: envy can only take hold of you if you allow it to. It's a powerful emotion, but it's also one that can be overcome. People who are envious may want what you have, but they don't have the whole story. They don't see the sacrifices, the failures, and the persistence that were necessary to get to where you are. Instead of letting their envy affect you, you need to recognize that their bitterness isn't a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their own struggles. Their envy speaks to their own sense of lack, not to any deficiency in you. What's important here is to remember that your success is not something that needs to be hidden or diminished for the comfort of others. Envy might try to make you feel guilty for achieving, but you should not apologize for your journey. People who are envious may try to convince you that you don't deserve your success, but the reality is that you do. You've earned it. And just because others are envious doesn't mean you have to diminish your light to make them feel better. Instead, continue to shine bright. Your success is a reflection of your hard work, resilience, and determination. And while others may be envious, you can be the one to inspire them to do better for themselves, not by dimming your light, but by showing them that with hard work and perseverance, they can achieve their own success too. When people feel powerless around you, it's because your presence, your energy, and your confidence create a sense of discomfort within them. Powerlessness stems from the inability to control, influence, or feel significant in a situation, and when people are around someone who exudes strength, self-assurance, and clarity, it can feel threatening. Your strength becomes a mirror that forces them to confront their own vulnerabilities and limitations, and this often leads to them feeling insignificant or inadequate in comparison. Powerlessness is a deeply uncomfortable feeling, and for some it can be hard to accept. People who feel powerless around you may begin to question their worth, their abilities, or their place in the world. They may feel as though they are unable to measure up to your level of success or the way you carry yourself with such conviction. It's not necessarily that they hate you for it. It's more that your presence serves as a constant reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. In a world where people are often defined by their external achievements and perceived status, your strength and self-assurance can inadvertently expose their own sense of inferiority, creating friction between the two of you. This sense of powerlessness can manifest in various ways. For instance, they may try to undermine you, either openly or subtly, because it's their way of attempting to regain some sense of control or power. If they feel they cannot match your strength, they might try to downplay your accomplishments or question your worth, projecting their internal feelings of inadequacy onto you. By doing so, they can avoid confronting the discomfort that arises when they are faced with someone who seems to have everything together while they feel like they're falling short. When someone feels powerless in your presence, it may also trigger a deep-rooted sense of competition. In many cases, people are trained to view life as a series of comparisons: who's winning, who's losing, who's ahead, who's behind, and in this competitive mindset, your strength can make them feel like they're constantly trailing behind. Rather than seeing you as an ally or someone to learn from, they may view you as a rival. This is a dangerous mindset because it clouds their judgment and prevents them from appreciating your value or the positive qualities that you bring to the table. Instead of lifting themselves up, they become fixated on tearing you down in an effort to feel better about their own position in life. Additionally, when people feel powerless, it often comes from a place of insecurity. They may not have the same level of confidence, self-worth, or self-belief as you do, and this makes them feel small in comparison. This feeling of being smaller or weaker can be unsettling as it forces them to acknowledge their own sense of inadequacy. Rather than confronting this feeling directly and working on their own growth, they may choose to project their discomfort onto you, acting as though your presence is the cause of their inner turmoil. This can lead to jealousy, bitterness, or resentment, but ultimately it is a reflection of their own struggle with self-doubt. For some, powerlessness also stems from a lack of agency or control in their own lives. They may feel as though they have no say in their own circumstances, as though they are at the mercy of forces beyond their control. When they see you standing firm, taking charge of your life, and making decisions with confidence, it highlights just how much they may feel like they're not in control of their own destiny. This sense of being trapped, unable to move forward, or unable to make empowered decisions creates a deep sense of frustration. They wish they could emulate your sense of autonomy and self-determination, but they feel incapable of doing so. Another aspect of powerlessness arises when people are confronted with someone who is unapologetically authentic. You don't need to fit into societal molds or play by the rules that others impose on you, and this freedom can be intimidating. When people feel powerless around you, it's often because they're struggling with their own sense of identity or purpose. They may be stuck in a cycle of trying to please others or conforming to external expectations, and in the face of your authenticity, they are forced to question their own choices and motivations. The fear of being judged or rejected for being true to themselves creates a defensive barrier, and instead of embracing their own individuality, they are paralyzed by the fear of standing out or being different. People who feel powerless may also retreat inwardly, shutting down or withdrawing from the relationship or interaction altogether. This is a defense mechanism that helps them avoid confronting their own feelings of inadequacy. When they feel overshadowed by your strength or presence, it's easier for them to distance themselves rather than face the discomfort that comes from standing next to someone who exudes confidence and self-assurance. They may stop engaging with you, stop offering support, or even start avoiding you entirely because being around you forces them to confront their internal struggles. The key to understanding this power dynamic is that it is not about you trying to diminish others or intentionally making them feel small. It's about the effect your energy, self-confidence, and authenticity can have on others who are still struggling to find their own sense of power. You are not responsible for their internal battles, but you may be the catalyst that pushes them to confront their own weaknesses, fears, and insecurities. The fact that they feel powerless around you doesn't diminish your strength or your worth. Instead, it reveals where they may need to do their own work. The power that you radiate can inspire them to find their own sense of self and to step into their own greatness. But for now, they may be uncomfortable because they are not yet ready to face that challenge head on. When people fear that you'll outgrow them, it taps into one of the deepest fears they have, the fear of being left behind. This fear is often rooted in insecurity, and it manifests when they see you evolving, advancing, and becoming the best version of yourself. As you grow, whether emotionally, spiritually, professionally, or personally, your trajectory may seem like it's moving in a direction that leaves others behind, and that can be unsettling for them. People who fear being outgrown by you may feel that they're no longer needed, important, or relevant in your life, and this feeling of being left behind can stir up deep anxiety and discomfort. In many cases, this fear is tied to the dynamics of relationships. People tend to want to feel needed, appreciated, and central to your life, and when they sense that you are becoming more independent, self-sufficient, or capable of navigating the world on your own, they might interpret it as a threat to their own sense of worth or position in your life. They might fear that as you grow and evolve, you will no longer require their support, attention, or companionship. This fear isn't necessarily about you abandoning them. It's about their perception of being left in the dust while you continue to move forward at a faster pace. People who fear being outgrown may start to feel insecure about their own progress in life. When you are constantly growing and leveling up, it forces them to examine their own lack of movement or growth. They might question why they haven't reached the same heights as you or why they're not advancing in the same way. This comparison can be painful as it highlights their own limitations and forces them to confront the areas of their life where they feel stagnant or unfulfilled. Instead of being inspired by your progress, they may become envious or resentful because they feel like they're being left behind in a race they didn't even know they were competing in. This fear of outgrowing someone can also be deeply tied to the ego. The ego often wants to be in control, to maintain power, and to preserve a certain sense of significance in the relationship. When one person grows, particularly in ways that the other person feels unable to match, it can make the other feel inferior. The fear is that as you progress, they will no longer be seen as equals, or that they'll be outshone by your success. The very idea that you might become too much for them to handle, or that you might become someone who no longer needs them, is a blow to their sense of self-worth and their identity within the relationship. In romantic relationships, this fear is often magnified. There's an underlying concern that as you grow, you will become more attractive to others, more successful, and perhaps more capable of finding someone better suited to you. This thought can cause an emotional rift where the person starts to feel unworthy or inadequate in comparison to the version of you that's becoming more confident, successful, or independent. In the fear of being outgrown, they may resort to unhealthy coping mechanisms like controlling behavior, guilt trips, or passive-aggressive actions to keep you from outgrowing them in ways that make them uncomfortable. These behaviors stem from the fear of being rendered obsolete, a fear that they may no longer hold any significance in your life as you continue to thrive. When this fear takes root, it can also manifest as resistance to your growth. They may subtly or overtly discourage your ambitions or try to hold you back. This can come in the form of criticism, belittling comments, or attempts to downplay your achievements. They might say things like, "You're changing too much," or "You don't need to do that," because deep down they are terrified that your growth will cause a distance between the two of you. Instead of supporting your evolution, they may try to suppress it because it makes them feel insecure about their own growth or lack thereof. This creates an unhealthy dynamic where one person's progress is seen as a threat rather than something to be celebrated. Additionally, the fear of outgrowing someone can lead them to act out of desperation. They may start to cling to the past, refusing to acknowledge how much you've changed or how far you've come. They may try to keep things stagnant, hold you back, or keep you in a space where they feel comfortable, knowing that your growth may eventually create an emotional divide. This fear can cause tension in relationships as the person grapples with the idea of losing the closeness or connection that they once had with you. They might resist the changes you're making, even though those changes are essential for your personal growth, because they fear that as you continue to grow, they won't be able to keep up. Ultimately, the fear of being outgrown is a reflection of someone's internal battle with their own insecurities and a lack of self-assurance. It's not necessarily that they want to hold you back from achieving greatness or that they wish to see you fail. It's that they are afraid of being eclipsed by your success and growing apart from you. They may wish to remain in the same place with the same dynamic for as long as possible, even if it means stifling your growth. However, the reality is that relationships where one person is stifled for the sake of the other's comfort are not sustainable in the long run. Healthy relationships are about mutual growth, support, and encouragement. Fear of being outgrown should not become a barrier to that growth, but rather it should be an opportunity for both individuals to continue evolving, even if it means embracing the inevitable changes that come with personal progress. In conclusion, the 9 reasons why people secretly harbor resentment towards you are not a reflection of your actions, but rather a manifestation of their internal struggles, insecurities, and fears. Whether they see you as a threat, feel threatened by your independence, or are envious of your success, these emotions are often more about them than about you. It's important to recognize that their negative feelings stem from their own limitations and fears, not from anything you've done wrong. By understanding these underlying reasons, you can better navigate relationships, remain true to yourself, and continue moving forward with confidence. You don't have to change who you are to accommodate others' discomfort or insecurities. Your strength, authenticity, and growth are not things to be diminished or hidden. They are powerful assets that should be embraced. Recognize that when people harbor such feelings towards you, it's a reflection of their own inner struggles, and it's not something you need to take personally. As you move forward in life, stay grounded in your values, continue to pursue your goals, and never let the negativity of others deter you from your path. The truth is that your success, independence, and authenticity will continue to shine through regardless of who might secretly resent you. Keep growing, keep pushing forward, and keep being the best version of yourself. The people who truly matter will see that, respect it, and support you on your journey.